Amigos y amigas, acá estamos hoy a las 21 horas en el complejo Art Media. Yo voy a ir, van a estar los Hot Chips, ya los vi otras veces, los vi en Barcelona, acá lo hemos visto. Es un muy buen show que te la pasás haciendo así. Es así, es raro de explicar. It's difficult to explain, but you're like...
It's impossible not to dance.
It's impossible.
Es imposible no bailar cuando...
I love your show, we will be there. And thanks for coming. Están acá los Hot Chips.
Acá, en vivo, en persona.
Bueno, del quinteto hay dos.
Bienvenidos, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Alex and Owen, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Yeah, good, yeah.
Very pleased to be here.
Well, Alex is uno de los fundadores de Hot Chip, pero más que nada es basquetbolista.
Sí, you're one of the founders of Hot Chip, but mainly you are a basketball player.
That's right, yeah. We started out, all of us, as basketball players, but then we found that we could use our arms for something similar, like a similar action from shooting, but just playing.
So, yes.
Dice, arrancaron todos como basquetbolistas, pero en un momento se dieron cuenta de que con los mismos movimientos podían, en vez de tipo tirar una pelota, tocar una bandeja, un teclado.
Una banda que tiene 20 años. Lo primero que le voy a preguntar es, ¿se imaginaban cuando arrancaron que iban a durar, que era una banda para largo? ¿O era como, bueno, arrancamos este proyecto y vemos?
You've been playing for more than 20 years now. It's almost 20 since your first record. So when you started out with this band, did you imagine that the story was going to be so long?
We didn't really think about how long the story would be. We wanted to make records that would be released, and we didn't really think about what is the future, you know? If there was an audience for each record, that was enough for us. That was our ambition, and I think that's quite helpful in a way to not be overly ambitious and thinking about things which are impossible to really think through because they're so far ahead. So we were thinking one step at a time, which may be why it's been, you know, less pressure on ourselves to do something more than just keep going, making music that we're happy with. I know that could sound unambitious, but we're still here and we're still loving doing it. So maybe it was for the best.
Dice que no, que en un principio solo pensaban en sacar discos y en tener una audiencia, y que tener una audiencia para esos discos era suficiente para ellos. Dice que puede sonar un poco no ambicioso o poco ambicioso eso, pero que en realidad esta cosa de ir un paso a la vez, en vez de pensar objetivos que son imposibles y que son muy largos y quedan muy lejos y son imposibles de pensar, los hizo llegar hasta donde están ahora.
Para mí en algo acertaron, le voy a decir, es difícil la traducción, ¿no? Acertaron.
Tranquilo, maestro, vos tirás.
En algo acertaron en mucho porque para mí Hot Chip fue una banda con un sonido muy moderno en su momento, y uno lo escucha hoy y sigue vigente. No es que decís, esto quedó del primer disco, creo que es 2004, esto quedó medio... Yo lo sigo sintiendo como súper actual, y eso quiere decir que es una visión de futuro importante. ¿Cómo será el futuro de Hot Chip, me pregunto?
But music-wise, you must have done something good because you listen now to the first records of Hot Chip, and even though it's been almost 20 years, it still sounds modern and you've been like a very avant-garde band in a way. So one can only imagine what's going to be the future from now on.
Well, that's very kind of you to say. I think that the records, on the whole, do stand up, but there are definitely parts of the first record where I can't believe I sang some of those words in public and was recorded, and it will be there forever.
Where's that?
And you cannot erase that.
You can't erase them.
Some of the words are quite rude, so we might not want to say them on the radio, perhaps.
Yeah, it's best. It's best if we don't say them. I mean, I think there are a lot of good things about that first record, but it's quite deliberately
provocative,
juvenile at times.
Okay.
And then it's also quite serious at other moments, so it's a bit of an odd mix.
Dice que primero que agradece las palabras, esto que decimos. Dice que él separaría el primer disco, dice que siente eso con los discos de Hot Chip, pero el primero no tanto, porque dice que a veces lo escucha de vuelta y no puede creer haber cantado esas letras, esas palabras.
Sí.
Y Owen agregaba como que las letras son un poco ásperas como para decir en la radio, y él dice como que eso, como que al mismo tiempo, si bien era deliberadamente juvenil el disco, con una energía muy joven y un poco provocativa también, tenía también algunas canciones más serias.
A mí lo que me pasa es que siento que de alguna forma 20 años para atrás, uno dice, bueno, 20 años es una música, pero es una música medio semi-electrónica como es Hot Chip. Fue una música redes sociales, YouTube, un montón de cosas. Por eso digo, veo un sonido muy moderno que para mí se mantiene y eso para mí tiene muchísimo valor.
But it's impossible to think about any record without its context, we're speaking of a time that is very different from the music industry now. You didn't have social media, you didn't have YouTube. It was like the record and the music.
Spotify and whatever.
O sea, people had to go to a record store and buy the music or see it live. So I don't know. It's impossible to think about that record without its context, right?
Yeah, well, I suppose, you see in different changes. You kind of operate in the time that you're in. So, yeah, there was like MySpace was a thing.
MySpace,
Yeah.
Right.
Remember MySpace?
Absolutely.
ICQ.
Did you remember your nickname in MySpace?
Nickname? No. Like, I wasn't super involved in that stuff. But I suppose, like, you just operate in the world that you're in. And I suppose that thing, like, about we were talking about how the first record, we weren't really thinking about the future. Like, you know. Similarly, like, you adjust as you go along. And you try and keep, like, the core of what you're doing. But, you don't sort of...
Dice que un poco operás en el mundo en el que estás con las herramientas que tenés, eso que decía él un poco también de no estar pensando en el futuro.
Tenía MySpace, de hecho, no
claro,
está lo de
y
ahora,
de
pero
MySpace, dice que no está eso, pero está MySpace, que es un poco el germen de todo esto. Y le quería preguntar, ¿cómo es en algún punto, digo, para seguir operando con las herramientas que tiene y no querer tipo aferrarse en las que ya conoce, ¿viste? Un cierto lugar de seguridad? I'd like to know...
Sí, vos dale.
Sí, por supuesto, sí. How do you do to keep operating with the new tools that are in this world that we are living now, and how do you fight falling into some comfort space when you grab the things that you already know and don't move on?
Well, yeah, I think like it was Tom Waits. You were saying your hands are like dogs; they always go to the same places. Like they're kind of lazy; they like what they like, sort of thing. So I think like musically, when we're making records, we have like sort of like very nice vintage synthesizers that we like.
Yeah.
We always know it's we're quite conscious to kind of cut them with very modern sort of soft synthesizers or like vocal processing. So or just like you keep something old with something new. It's like a sort of cocktail or something. You kind of want to have like classic ingredients, but also have like something that's exciting to you or kind of challenges what you're doing. I think it kind of keeps it fresh for for yourself, and if it does that, then hopefully it works for other people as well.
Yeah.
Dice que hay una frase que le gusta que es que tus manos son como perros. Son medio vagos y van siempre al mismo lugar si los dejas. Y dice que los que le gusta es desafiarse y buscar como cosas nuevas para hacer y que usan mucho una mezcla entre sonidos más vintage de viejos sintetizadores de otras épocas con software más moderno y sintetizadores más modernos y más actuales, y cree que en ese balance entre lo vintage y lo moderno se da algo que a ellos los mantiene desafiados y que también funciona para la gente también.
Bueno, algo de eso pasa con el público, ¿no? Porque Anita Winnie tiene 24 y me decía que le gustaba Hot Chip y tiene 24, o sea, tenía 4 años cuando
claro.
se conocieron, y está bueno eso, ¿no? Quiere decir que se van pasando de generación en generación.
Well, something must happen with the audience too also regarding to what you were saying. Anita, she's RCM. Here, she's the youngest person in the show. She's 24, and when she knew that you were coming to the show, she was very excited because she liked the band very much. So it must mean something that a 24-year-old is listening to Hot Chip.
Yeah, thank you for your support.
Yeah, she was 4 when the first record came out. I mean,
yeah, I think that we don't spend a lot of time analysing the age of who is listening or looking out.
We do.
Yeah,
that's why we do.
But it's nice to see young people coming to the shows and people with their parents coming to the shows. I think that the music that we make is quite it is popular with different groups of people, different ages, people from all different walks of life. I think it's quite a lot to do with there's a lot of love in the music, a lot of enthusiasm in the music, a lot of fun in the music, and a lot of serious sort of melancholic feelings too. And so there's quite a lot for people to engage with. If
doesn't matter what they are.
I think so, yeah. And obviously the hardest thing now for a band is how you actually reach a new audience. Maybe your music might sound good to lots of people, but how do they actually hear about it?
Yeah.
And I guess that's everything has changed, as you were alluding to earlier, in the music industry from when we began to now. But still, it feels like with all of the changes, actually having your music played on the radio still will make a big difference. So we're pleased to be, reaching people in that way, because it means that somebody doesn't need to know the context or what your band is called or anything. They can hear it and be immediately kind of connected to it.
Okay. Dice que no pasa mucho tiempo analizando las edades de quienes escuchan, pero sí le gusta cuando va a un show y ve gente joven o capaz que van gente con sus padres o con sus hijos, que eso sí le gusta. Y que si bien es cierto esto que decíamos antes, como que cambió mucho todo en el mundo de la música, la industria de la música es otra, hay algo que pasa cuando todavía suena la música en la radio, por ejemplo. Dice que uno de los mayores desafíos para las bandas nuevas es cómo hacer que la música le llegue a las audiencias nuevas, porque capaz que vos haces un tema que a alguien joven lo escuche y le gustaría. La pregunta es cómo hacer para que le llegue ese tema, que lo escuche. Y en ese sentido todavía sonar en la radio dice que es algo que está bueno, porque capaz que es alguien que te escucha que no tiene por qué saber el contexto de tu banda ni cómo se llama tu banda, simplemente escucha la música. Bien. Y le gusta la música.
Y que mezcla sonidos melancólicos, modernos.
También, que hay mucho amor y mucha alegría en los shows. Pero
para que no te haga lo
tenés razón, hay mucho amor,
El amor es lo importante.
Mucha alegría en los shows, pero también hay muchos momentos melancólicos y como...
Amigos, estamos con Alex, con Owen. Hoy a la noche, tonight, 10 de noviembre a las 21 en el complejo Art Media. Allí estaremos presentando Freak Out Release.
Es donde fue la fiesta de Todo Pasa. Gran lugar.
De Hot Chip. See you tonight, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for coming. Okay? Bye.
Gracias.
Escucha.
Somos la radio que ves en YouTube. Urbana Play 104.3.